Welcome to Strip Cover Lit, where we squeeze the bigger picture out of literature. I'm Adrian Ford, and we are here to set the stage for 2024 on the channel. Now, 2023 was a what is wrong with my I ran today, so having two hoods up in the 22-degree weather definitely did a number on my noggin. We are here to set the stage for 2024. 2023 on the channel saw a lot of videos. April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and now December makes for 9 months of consecutive daily uploads. I am getting back in the habit for Strip Cover Lit, for making literary videos, and I have here the goals for this year that will get us through things. Now, we're going to start off with channel level goals. Then we're going to get into poetry, then short stories, then novels, and then series level goals for the channel. And I really want 2024 to be a year where there's a little bit of transformation on the channel. So I'll get to that in number 3, I guess. But starting off, I want to make it a year of consecutive daily uploads, which would be through March. But this run started in April last year, where there was a video on the channel every day for National Poetry Month. National Poetry Month being very important to me. I believe that poetry has been lost sort of to the sands of time, and we can blame music to an extent. So in the same way that photography divorced painting from verisimilitude, I believe that music divorced poetry from verisimilitude. And in the absence of needing that verisimilitude, I think of these art forms, both of these art forms sort of maybe got sidetracked a little bit into the obscure. Just because verisimilitude is not necessary does not mean that it should not still be important. What do I mean by that? Maybe this isn't the place to be talking about this, but I think that photography divorcing painting from verisimilitude led to all sorts of abstract things that sort of took appreciation of painting away from what is referred to as the layman, right? You have to have some bit of education in things to really appreciate a lot of the modern art and postmodern art as it stands. Meaning that, so for example, what is it called? The jelly bean or whatever in Chicago. It doesn't really mean anything to a whole lot of people. It's just a big ball of metal, right? Now, maybe there's an artistic statement behind it. I have no idea. I don't care. It's not interesting. In that same way, poetry has become divorced from the layman, from the common reader, from someone who's just trying to pick up a book of poetry and learn something or feel something or grow in some way. And I think that it has been detrimental to the art form. So for me, National Poetry Month is important. Now, these daily uploads that I want to do through March would make one calendar year. Through April would be 13 months of daily uploads. I am a little bit ahead, so I have some work done for January, but not a whole lot. So it will be a struggle. Here's the goal for January. February is where I want to start some meatier projects. And we'll get to that in the novel portion of this. April is going to be very difficult because there is a very big thing that I want to do from an historical standpoint for the month of April, on top of daily uploads for National Poetry Month. So I will have a poetry discussion every day, and then this series to do on top of it. So that's going to be very difficult. I'm going to have to work a whole lot harder in order to get a little bit ahead for that. But daily uploads for the first 4 months of the year should be doable, and I want to hit 300 videos total for the year. Now, it would be nice to do more than that, but what 295 videos would be the first 4 months of the year through daily uploads, and then Monday through Friday videos after that. I think, need to cut back on production in order to get the things done that I want to get done. Though I have streamlined things a bit, I have learned some shortcuts on the editing, things like that, that will help me out with some of this stuff. It's not easy, and there's a lot of reading involved. And on my personal channel, I'll have goals, a video of goals for 2024 on a life standpoint. And I want to do a lot of stuff this year. I want this to be a very productive year. I want this to be the most productive year of my life. So we're going to see how that goes. Number 3 there. Oh, right. So 295 videos would be daily uploads through the first 4 months of the year, and then Monday through Friday through the rest of it. 300 videos is not all that much on top of it because it's going to be a lot of the series that I want to do on top of the daily uploads in April. That's going to be at least 4 parts right there. I don't remember the day I have to start that series, but it's going to be an anniversary. So we'll get to that again in the novel part of this. Through years of doing this, what I have learned is that this channel is a destination for students. Obviously, probably your college English 101, having to write an essay on this poem or that short story. People come here so they don't have to read it, number one. But number two, to get some type of perspective on things. When you look at the times of the year where views peak, and you look at the age demographics during that time, this is being a haven for college students. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't mind that one bit, but again, on a literary level, much like on the poetry level, part of my mission statement for this channel is to reclaim literature to be valuable. For literature, to help literature reclaim its value, I guess would be a better way to put that. Yeah, it's great that students come here and probably steal ideas without giving me credit in their citations. But what I hope to do here is to make this channel a literary destination, meaning I'm probably going to have to get a little bit away from strictly doing read-alongs, from strictly doing poetry discussions, from strictly doing short story reviews and discussions, things like that, into broader ideas and broader topics and broader discussions with literature. Now, the Darkest series, I think, is a step in that direction, but I have a whole lot of ideas for how to make those things happen. The next goals on this list, we have there something special for September. September is my month of birth. I've never really celebrated my month of birth on this channel, but it is something that I want to take a minute to sort of do something special to me. Probably what that will look like is a little bit more Emily Dickinson, a little bit more Charles Bukowski, a little bit more Ernest Hemingway, a little bit more William Faulkner maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but something like that. And then something special for October. This past year, we did October, which was, I believe, something like 26 videos from about Edgar Allan Poe in the month of October. That's 31 days, something like that. And then there were a couple of sort of readings on top of it. So I did a video that was some of the best poems from Edgar Allan Poe, which was like a top 10, I think, something like that. readings of the opening paragraphs from Edgar Allan Poe's short stories, things like that. Probably what September and October look like are daily uploads again. I'm not 100% sure, but we will get to that when we get there. There is something for December as well. I want to do something special in December this year. What we did was A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. That is a Christmas type thing for the end of the year. I am not sure exactly what other literary things about Christmas we could do that aren't too schlocky. A Christmas Carol's a little bit schlock, but it's something that has stood the test of time as far as cultural influence. So if you have any suggestions over Christmas type things, end of year type things to do in December next year, I am more than open to them. Number 7 there on a channel level, I want to get the Edgar Allan Poe playlist to 50 videos. That would be 18 more videos in total. The reason I'm putting this here instead of in poetry or short stories is because I don't know exactly. Poe obviously wrote both poetry and short stories as well as one novel. Maybe doing a read along for the novel would be something to do, but maybe do that in October. I don't know, but I think that it would be. I'm big on playlists. I think that is a future endeavor of the channel is to grow playlists specific to authors. I think that that would be something that. So this channel is very scattershot, right? And what that does is absolutely murders me in the, you've heard it 1,000 times, the YouTube algorithm. Because someone who is here, for example, for the Charles Bukowski videos, which I've grown a little bit of a community around the Bukowski videos, from what I understand, maybe they don't want anything to do with the Hawley read-along that is going on right now. Maybe they don't want anything to do with Emily Dickinson. And when you have an audience that picks and chooses your videos, and look, I understand it. I don't watch all the videos from anyone that I'm subscribed to on YouTube anyway. But the breadth of different artists and art forms that I talk about on this channel is something that's actually detrimental on a YouTube level. I don't remember why I was talking about that. I don't remember why I was talking about that, but it's true. And oh yeah, so playlists for individual authors. I think that is something which could prove beneficial to readers, to viewers, in that what they can do is pinpoint those videos without having to search, for example, strip cover lit Charles Bukowski. Having that playlist in place, people can just bit and piece their way through that instead. Now, poetry goals for the channel as far as poetry is concerned. I want to get the poetry discussion playlist to 500, which is 171 videos total. Roughly, that's about 3 videos per week every week during the course of the year. 52 weeks in the year, 150, 100, what would that be? 156 would be 3 per week. Then you're factoring in National Poetry Month, which is going to be 30 videos in 30 days. So as long as I stick to it, getting that playlist to 500 videos shouldn't be too terribly difficult. But that's a lot of poems. So be sure, if you have any requests as far as anything you want to see me talk about on the poetry level, throwing in requests for this would be beneficial for me. It would help me sort of stay on track, have something in general to look at. Now, again here, National Poetry Month, it's going to have an Emily Dickinson Day, a Charles Bukowski Day, a Robert Frost Day. But in the past, I've put William Shakespeare in there. In the past, I've put William Blake in there. In the past, I've put the Trench Poets in there. And I kind of want to keep it national this time. I kind of want to keep it to American poets. So I will have, it's not going to be Billy Collins. Okay? No Billy Collins. No Billy Collins. I can't stand Billy Collins. I have one collection from Billy Collins, so maybe it'll be Billy Collins. But if you have any requests for American poets to put on that list, let me know. So I've had Langston Hughes on the National Poetry Month twice. I'm really not sure where to go with Langston Hughes aside from the videos that I've already done. Langston Hughes, voluminous in his writing and in his poems, but I'm not sure where to start with them. So if you have any ideas, let me know on that as well. Now, when we move forward here in this list, 10 video essays in various series. Now, what does this look like? This could be, I have an idea for William Shakespeare's Darkest Sonnet, so the Darkest series. I have an idea for a playlist on several different topics like that. I am not sure how many of them I am going to get to. It could also be Black Label reviews, which we will get to in a little bit. It could also be, what are the other? We'll get to that in the series, but the series section. But there are several series that I'm going to be starting in the coming year, so long as time is not all that great a factor. Which that's been one of the arresting sort of predicaments for me during this year, has been 9 months of consecutive daily uploads does not leave me a whole lot of time for editing, but I'm still getting through it, right? We're still covering a whole lot of stuff. October was brutal. Just brutal. I did a little bit more editing for all of the Edgar Allan Poe stuff. For the poems, there was a reading performance of the poems. For the short stories, there was an intro with the opening paragraph on screen. It was a lot of reading in general, so we'll see how that goes moving forward. But having those video this is what has been tearing me down with the Darkest series. For example, the Darkest Detail, As I Lay Dying, the Darkest Detail, I have that video almost completely shot. I have all of the audio work done. I have all of the slides made. The only thing I have to do is to sit down in front of the camera, the part of the video that's just like what you're watching now. That's going to take me a while, getting exactly what it is that I want to say, and then getting it all edited up. So I do have all of the hardest work for that video done. But doing a daily upload makes it difficult because I have to go to work, I have to get my exercise, I have a part-time, I have to get the video for today done, and then extra work on top of that. So I want to get the Emily Dickinson playlist to 100 videos, which will be 16 videos total. That should not be too hard. Surprise, surprise. There will be Emily Dickinson to be had on this channel. In fact, there will be a series, hopefully starting in 2024, that I've been promising for the better part of half a decade. But it's going to be a lot of work. I've got something. I want to put that down in the series portion. But I forgot something that I'm going to start hopefully doing too on this channel. This here is the Penguin Book of First World War Poetry. I want to start a series on this, going poem by poem through it. Trench poets, World War I poetry, very interesting stuff. It's going to be a whole lot of hard work because a lot of this stuff is difficult material. The trench poets made difficult material, which is only fitting for a difficult war. The Bukowski series to 150 videos. There are 114 videos right now, so that makes it 13 or 36 videos total that I would have to do to get that playlist to 150 videos. Moving on to the short stories. Now, I want to get my short story discussion playlist over 100 videos. That's going to be 43 videos total. Short story discussions, much like poetry discussions, do not have to be limited. The playlist does not have to be limited just to the short story discussions. I'm going to put the bigger, harder type of videos in that playlist as well. You've seen that in the poetry discussion playlist. I have some of the longer form videos, some of the darkest series and stuff in there as well. So there are a couple series coming on the channel that should help facilitate that. But really, they're not going to have to, so long as I stay on my horse, because finishing the first 49 of the Fincavigia edition by Ernest Hemingway should get me there. The first 49, if you have this collection, it's the first 49 short stories through Fathers and Sons. That is the first part of this collection. That should pretty well do it there, but I also want to finish. I have one short story, The Dead, left in Dubliners by James Joyce. I was not planning on doing this read-along here in 2023. I just picked it up one day and decided to start it. And it was a lot, I won't say it was a lot of fun, it was a lot of work as far as literature is concerned, but I think it was useful. They are short stories. There's a lot of short stories in there that I've never read, and I did enjoy them. I think that it is necessary work, right? So there's videos I want to do, there's videos I feel like I have to do, and there are videos that I feel are necessary work. Getting a read-along of Dubliners, probably pretty necessary work if you are trying to build a library of videos that are useful to viewers over the English language. Dubliners is one of the seminal collections of short stories of the English language. So there's that. I want to go back and do a read-along of 10th of December by George Saunders. I believe the original read-along on this channel, which was started in 2016, was incomplete by one or two stories. And I want to go back and really get that hammered out. I want to not go back to that series, but start a new series for this that really takes that into account, hammers it out, and gets that read-along done. And do it in a competent fashion, do it in a fashion which is respectful to the text. The first series was basically just talking on camera. I want to do a little bit more editing than that. And then I want to start a series for Civil War Land in Bad Decline. That is the second, that is enough, that I believe that is George Saunders' second short story collection. I don't believe I have looked at any of the short stories from that collection on the channel. I don't remember if that, maybe there's one, if that's where Sea Oak is, but I'm not sure. I don't think Sea Oak is in that collection. So that'll be interesting on the channel. George Saunders, probably the preeminent short story writer of the day. So that'll be what that is. And now on to the novels portion of this. Here's the big thing a couple big things that I want to do this year. The Great Gatsby. I'm going to start, this is the reason that I want to get January done as soon as possible. January will be heavy on poetry because poetry videos, poetry discussions are easier to get through, not as time consuming as all the reading that goes into a novel or a short story. I need to get January done as soon as possible because I want to do a chapter-by-chapter read-along of The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. 9 chapters. Then I will have a review. I will probably have a darkest detail for The Great Gatsby. I'll have to figure out what it is. Top of my head, I don't have one. But it will be a very important series for me to have on this channel. There is a review on the channel for The Great Gatsby. not my greatest work. So to put together a 9-part read-along, a review at the end of it, and have it a Black Label review is something that I am looking forward to doing. It will start again in February, run February through March, leading into April, National Poetry Month. Then, starting in April, Carrie. Carrie turns 50 this April. I believe it's like April 6th that I will have to start that series. But it's a novel that it's not a difficult novel. It's 320 pages long, I think, something like that. Let me see. Oh wow, yeah. Not even, I don't think. Maybe 290 pages. But there's only 3 chapters. There is Bloodsport, the prom or prom night, and then the wreckage. So how I'm going to break that down, I'm not sure. Or not the wreckage, just wreckage is the third part. I might take those just part 1, part 2, part 3, which is how the novel is broken down. But that's going to make the recap portion very difficult for those novels. You're not really getting, for that novel, you're not really getting an in-depth look at anything that is going on. The issue with breaking it down is I don't know if there is a standard print version of this. So if I were to break down Bloodsport, for example, which is 130-ish pages, 137 pages, if I were to just cut that in half and do 130, 70 pages and 70 pages, if not quite 70 and 70, but you see what I'm doing there. If I were to do that 70 by 70, I don't know where I would be stopping, through this. There's no good stopping point, and I don't know if page 70 means something particular in every print version of this. This has the opposite problem that a book like It does. It has a whole lot of stopping points, but no stopping points that are particularly useful. So, number 3 there, It Read Along, I want to start an It Read Along, something I've wanted to do on the channel for a long time. I have put it off because I did not have the tools. The Shining Read Along that I have on the channel is not everything that I think it could be. I am getting better at these editing bits of things, and I want for the It series to be each stopping point along the way, which means it's going to be like a 50-part series. Some videos obviously will not be the full 30 minutes that we do for a lot of read-alongs, but look, I don't know. It's going to be a difficult type of series, the It series, the Carrie series as well. Stephen King is not a big fan of writing traditionally structured chapter by chapter books. That is maybe part of what has made his last 2, Holly and Fairy Tale, so miserable. Speaking of, I need to finish the Holly series. I will be starting with chapter 17 in January. January will take us through chapter 21, which is the final chapter, meaning February should show us the Holly review. Now, you see there, Fairy Tale review. I'm not very good at this. That was an awful novel. I've got to get around to finding some way to make a review with stuff worth talking about. I want to make it a Black Label review, which means there's going to be... I don't want it to just be me sitting in front of a camera talking about, oh, well, my favorite part of Fairy Tale was where the guy was picking his nose in the chair and got a spear thrown through his throat. None of that. I want to have an actual... What I mean by Black Label reviews, you will see the read-along for No Longer Human, which again will be a little bit later on this list, is something I need to finish. That's sort of the level of work that I want to be able to put into these videos that makes them not just hopefully watchable, but hopefully have some rewatchability to them as well. Going back and doing that for Fairy Tale is going to be some work because I didn't find a whole lot worth talking about the first time. Doing that for Holly, the number 5 goal there, is going to be a whole lot of work because I didn't find a whole lot of things worth talking about the first time. Now, Holly still has 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21, 5 chapters to bring something worth talking about into play, or 5 pairs of chapters. I guess that's 10 chapters to find something worth talking about into play. We'll see. I don't know. A Christmas Carol review. It's a little bit late, but I did step on the gas to get all 5 parts of the read along done before Christmas. So I have some ideas as to what the review for that will be. Look, I'm going to start a series on 50 Shades of Grey. I think it's going to be this year. It depends on a couple of things. It depends on how well I can do a couple of things, how far I can get on a couple of things. I want it to be irreverent. I want it to be silly. I want it to be taken seriously. Meaning, I want to treat it like Shakespeare. And that is the ridiculous part. So we'll see if I get there. There's a lot of things I want to do. Speaking of Shakespeare, I've never actually read Hamlet, I don't think. I don't think I was supposed to read that in my Shakespeare class in college. My Shakespeare class in college, she wanted to be sort of a contrarian and do all the weird stuff, do all the lesser knowns. And it, to the detriment of the entire class. I want to start a series on We Have Always Lived in the Castle. That is a novel for which there was a read-along filmed, and the external hard drive on which that series appeared, it was a Seagate, and it was a big external hard drive, and it crashed. So, never buying Seagate stuff again. I need to finish the No Longer Human series. It's going to be difficult. It has been a long time. So that series just kind of got lost in the shuffle. That was where I was learning to do some of the more interesting editing stuff, and the work to it was kicking up right as I was trying not to lose my daily upload record, my daily upload, continual daily uploads. And it fell to the wayside, and I moved on to other stuff. It's just what happened to it. It was not all that compelling a book. It's an important book, I think. It's a book for which there are a lot of readers. It is a book that is something I should finish on this channel. I'm going to finish on this channel. I just have to find the time to go back and do it, get back into it. Now, series. There are a lot of series I want to do. The difficult part is, look, I got a full-time job. I got a part-time job. I have walked or ran at least a mile for 270 days consecutively, I think, trying to get back in some type of shape. Not really working. These videos are videos that are going to be higher effort videos, higher production videos, more difficult, more densely packed videos than the poetry discussions, the short story discussions, the read-along series, etc. These are the videos that I believe will help make this channel a literary destination. These are the videos that I think are going to be the ones that transform this from a channel which is useful for students to a channel which helps people. It helps people, maybe not the right term. That's sort of a self-indulgent term. but opens up a broader discussion about literature. That's what I want to do here. I think that literature has a niche in society right now, but readership sort of has a bigger niche in that what a large number of the readers, you can find them on Instagram. And I don't mean to disparage Instagram. I don't mean to disparage people who have book pages on Instagram. That's not what I mean to do. What I mean to do is say, hey, there's a whole other side of this. When you get into some of the sort of vagaries of books on YouTube, there's a lot of reading for entertainment, which is fine. It's fine to do that. I think you can read for entertainment and growth at the same time. And it's like running a mile while brushing your teeth and fixing your hair. You're getting a whole lot more done. It's like having a treadmill in your shower. You're getting a whole lot more life value out of literature if you don't read it just for entertainment. These are the videos that I want to help bridge the gap. Videos that I think could be more entertaining and deliver some of the goods. 517 poems. That is a series that I want to start, which is more heavily... The formula that I have written up for those videos right now is 13 points. Finding 13 ways to talk about a poem, each poem, every poem, is something that I hope to further the discussion. Now, 517 poems at the clip of one per month, which is basically what I'm doing with the Darkest series at this point. 517 poems at one per month is over 40 years. I'll never get there. I'm going to die way before 40 years from now. Hopefully, through Patreon, through the super thanks, through the channel growing, I will eventually be able to leave the rat race, or at least parse down on what it is that I am doing through the rat race that will allow me the distance from the daily grind of a job, a job, for what I find meaningful, which is this channel, which is something like 517 poems. That series, I can't wait for those videos to start dropping because of the plans that I have there. I think that those will be the ultimate in utility as far as what it means to talk about poetry in particular on YouTube. I have taken inspiration from all sorts of channels. I have taken inspiration from all sorts of genre on YouTube. I have taken inspiration from the ever-evolving voyage to improving what I'm trying to do here, right? So there's a lot of stuff that I want to do with those videos, and I think that could be a signature type series here on the channel for whatever that means. Dickinson Darkly, this is the third, fourth, fifth year that I've been talking about this series and starting it. I think I finally have some of the editing tools to be able to make something meaningful out of Emily Dickinson and a poem-by-poem read-along for her poetry. What I mean by that is Dickinson Darkly, what I want to do is start at Emily Dickinson Poem 1 and go all the way through. That's 1,775 poems. Again, I will never get there if I don't find a way to create more time for myself. Black Label reviews, I want to get 10 of them in that series. A Christmas Carol, Holly, Fairy Tale. I want to get a couple short stories in there. These are sort of the classic reviews that are on this channel, but I want to do a few more things with them, so we'll see how that goes. I want to get the Darkest series to 10 videos. I know that it is frustrating that I've been promising As I Lay Dying the Darkest Detail since October. Well, essentially what that means is since September. But like I say, I have it completely shot except for the at the desk portions of that video. I'm pretty happy with the way things are coming together for it, but I just have to find the time to do it. Creative writing series. I have writer's quotes on the channel. I want to make a more in-depth video series for writing. One of those is going to be a versus with some of the worst Stephen King versus some of the best Hemingway. I have a video outlined for that. I just don't have it scripted. I don't have it written. I don't have it shot. There is some atrocious dialogue in Holly, which is just miserable. And I want to compare that to some of the best dialogue from Hemingway. Hemingway, very good with dialogue. There is that Penguin First World War I poetry series that I want to go. I want to get 5 videos into that series, I think. Video essays. What are video essays? Could be the Darkest series that I'm getting into. Could be the 517 poems series that I'm getting into. The Dickinson Darkly series that I'm getting into. All of those will be probably video essays. This is sort of a fail-safe type goal here. It's all about time, really. And the Why series. What I'm doing with this Why series is it is sort of a meditation on an author, his or herself. Why Charles Bukowski? Why Emily Dickinson? I want to answer those questions with a little bit of biography, a little bit about the work, a little bit about a lot of things with those people. And that wraps it up for 2024. Now, there's a lot of space for things to change. There's a lot of space, like, for example, there's going to be more short stories probably on the channel than just those ones from Hemingway, George Saunders, and a single one from James Joyce. The 171 poems, that's a lot of stuff. So again, if you have any suggestions over poems that you want me to talk about, be sure to let me know in the comments section. I want to be able to expand this channel, like I say, into a destination for literature lovers. If you were here, if you were this far into this video, obviously that's you. But I think that it is difficult to really expand a channel like this when it is so strictly married to the review type process, talking about single works and titling videos by singular titles. It makes them ultra searchable. But I think, so for example, if you haven't read As I Lay Dying, there's very little reason for you to click on a video of the read-through for As I Lay Dying. But I think As I Lay Dying, the Darkest Detail is a more clickable type of thing, a more interesting idea, even if someone has not read the book. That's all I have for this video. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting a like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other literature lovers. And if you find yourself here by chance but not design, consider hitting the subscribe button in order to stick around for more videos in the future. There's poetry every Monday, and hopefully 300 videos to be found on the channel in the year of 2024.